I would like to welcome you all once again on this eventful day. This is also to thank you for all your support which you have been giving to us, and UPTU Watch has finished 1 year of its inception. Last year on 23rd of January, when we launched our first issue, we set out the vision: can UPTUians become the brand ambassadors of Uttar Pradesh the way IITians have for India? So with this vision, we initiated and started, and it is in front of you like what we said in our New Year greetings. We have made a lot of promises in the last 1 year. Now it's a whole decade of deliverance for us on various counts, on various fronts. So I would like to take you forward on that. Today, not very far away from here, yet another massive India against corruption. On this day in 1948, not very far away in history, yet another man who aroused this entire nation, he walked some last steps. Both of these initiatives, if we see, they were to retain certain values, to stand up for some values and to die for some values. Now the entire process of inculcating the values and proliferating the same lies certainly with us, the educational institutions. So let's take some of our very few steps forward. Today's agenda is very focused upon the admissions, the gross enrollment ratio for the year 2011. Just giving you certain statistics, they come from the UP Technical University's annual report, whereby these are the statistics of the C 2010, whereby in engineering there was a reduction of 10.65% of the students, while in the B Pharma courses it was 27%, and on the MBA front it was 37%. Now on one hand, there is a vision, there is a dream of increasing the gross enrollment ratio from the current 11.8 to 20. And on the other hand, the students appearing in the state entrance examination, which actually makes them eligible for studying in the various technical institutions across the state, it is drastically falling. Now this is a scenario worth concerning and taking effective actions. Next, it has been phenomenal. As per the 2010, we have around 1 lakh. Now this is the kind of phenomenal educational infrastructure which has evolved in this state, where there were only 46 higher engineering institutions in the year 2000, while it is in 2010, it has crossed, the UPTU code has crossed the 700 mark, like the Sensex we have been following it across. So one day we have a huge phenomenal capacity where we can accommodate even double the students which we have been catering to so far. And on the other hand, it is a drastically reducing numbers of the students appearing, aspiring and studying for the various engineering and management courses. The problem of employability and industry academy interaction is another dimension to the same. Next. Now why it is happening? If we take just the macro analysis, macro consideration of UP alone, Uttar Pradesh alone, for the last 1 year we have been interacting with almost the entire gamut of the stakeholders in the techno-managerial educational framework, right from the regulators to the college owners, the academic administrators, the faculty members, the students, the alumni, and the industry at large. So these were some of the important factors which actually came. Why this gap is happening? The first and the foremost it came up is somewhere a lack of a university branding. When Professor Kripa Shankar took as the Vice Chancellor of UP Technical University in July 2009, he declared like UPTU should have a brand course. We got inspired by one of his interviews over there. He said, sir, why just a brand course? Why not the university, which probably happens to be the world's largest technical university. For your information, IGNOU got the status of the world's largest university. We tried to search across Google, try to find out universities across the world which are specializing only in technical and managerial subjects, and we could not find a rival for the UP Technical University. So with such a phenomenal infrastructure, with a state which has been traditionally India's political heartland, so we just felt it is slowly becoming India's educational heartland. So university probably needs umbrella branding. We thereby came to the concept like a twin branding. The university as an umbrella, and under which the individual institutions, they can compete with their position over there. The second factor which we found last year was there was some kind of an ultra-aggressive marketing campaign. The recession had just left the economy, and there was a lot of information asymmetry across the students. You have read in the newspapers like AICTE, around 1,000 institutions have said, let's shut down our IT branches. So when we interacted with some of the leading IT firms, in their boardrooms, they were shocked. Like we broke this news because we were covering all the counseling centers across the state last year. Students were refraining from IT like anything. Even people near and dear ones, they were not convinced. The economy is like a 4-year process. This year you enroll and 4 years things will stabilize. And this year, the hiring spree which is going on, the companies are not finding adequate human resources to actually cater to their global demands. So, somewhere or the other, the marketing campaign was so ultra aggressive, like parents had made a roll, like the SMS they had got from the institutions, they had blacklisted them that we will not at all enroll over there. I was going through one of the videos, one of the chats on NDTV which said, FICCI's statistics say that last year, only in print, 2,700 crores was spent in print advertising alone by the campaign budgets, the advertising campaigns. Now, interestingly, this whole amount of money, it somehow backfired. Somewhere things happened the wrong way. Because of this ultra-aggressive marketing campaign, the students who were really coming from the hinterland, from the rural areas, from the tier 2, tier 3 cities, first generation engineers and managers, parents mortgaging their properties to pay the fee and all. BTech and MBA used to be some kind of status symbols, largely, more from their economic value. It was largely a kind of an empowerment from the traditional social framework. But the kind of selling of the seats which happened, students get refrained. Oh, this is not worth doing it. Every third person is becoming a BTech. So somewhere we have failed in educating the aspiring youngsters that the number of students, the number of engineers which this country of 1 million is much more than what a feeler is happening. They are all shaping over these many institutions have come across. We need more institutions for that to cater our economic growth and requirements. So, unaffordable fee, because of the inflationary pressures, we have a whole lot of lists with us. We got around 1,000 applications last year, and students, because of the fee and the kind of parental backgrounds, they were not able to afford it. And unfortunately, many colleges were eager to give scholarships to them. The government has scholarship programs. The banks have educational loan facilities with them. You have a flyer we published and circulated all across. Because this information about educational loans is not at all available with the normal candidate which is happening. And what happens in the smaller cities, the bank managers directly deny giving the bank loans. And the middle class taboos, they actually don't allow people to take loans and do the studies and all. So this information gap, like unaffordable fee, how it can be made affordable, it is certainly lacking. One of the other parameters we found is due to the inception of a large number of private universities, which are autonomous in all fashions in terms of induction of students, course curriculum and all. So they are much more, they are better equipped in positioning themselves in the local market. And that's where a huge number of students, because education is largely a business, if you can allow me to use that term, of perception. An institution generates its brand, its perception over years and years together. But even after 10 years of happening, even after the phenomenal, I will say, the credentials that the university had, the MTU, GBTU combined, the UPTU could not create that brand, that proactive positioning which attracts people like anything. And finally, the information asymmetry between industry and academia and the prospective students, something which I touched upon, that students were not opting for IT branches and they were flocking for other branches, and that kind of scenario happened. Next. So in today's deliberation, these are some of the points which we certainly need to ponder, like how we can collectively build a university brand, a dual brand whereby university is at the higher side and individual colleges, they can create their own individual brand around that. How to take on the challenge of MTU and GBTU combined versus the forthcoming private universities which are much better equipped, which have much aggressive campaigns across going on. How we can devise a campaign, how we can network the various stakeholders together for counseling, for mentoring and for informing the authentic information about engineering, about management, about the financing, about the courses, about the career options after that, all sorts of things. Then how to maintain the prestige and the utility and the importance of a BTech and an MBA degree. Now this is very, very important because somehow or the other availability of so much many candidates without a vision of it, it deteriorates the market for it. Then how we can link up, how we can provide the additional sources of financing to these students, to the needy ones, and how we can collectively have a coordinated and a balanced marketing campaign. The money which we are spending across, how it can become educational in nature. If you go in any city, there are huge billboards lying across. They talk about an institution very nicely, very phenomenally, but they are not adding to the educational quotient of that student about the course per se and things per se. Next. So how we can do all this, how we can take it forward. We need to deliberate upon the ideas, the strategies and the plans together with which we can execute and certainly have some realizable, some results which are certainly we can show it across in this coming admission session. UPTU Works has been a collective of a large number of, we have a team of 15 plus, and we have been dedicatedly understanding the educational scenario in UP vis-a-vis the other states, and we try to focus upon a geography first, because the geography signals a lot of socio-economic and cultural backgrounds. So we have come upon with a proposal and which we wanted to put forth in front of you. And I will just request my colleague to hand over the dossiers containing that to you. Next, Amit. So what we were feeling like is you all have this engineering admissions guide in your hands. If you see, this was the first product when we had started. There was no compilation about the colleges at a single destination. The UPC brochure which comes, it has its own limitations. They just can have the names of the colleges at best. But what about how to inform the students about the various things? So in the part A of this, for the first time we tried to collect like what are the various branches of engineering, what are the careers after engineering, what is electrical, electronics, computers. Now if you see the 43 branch list which we have under the UPTU framework, now there are largely we see there are only 4 or 5 engineering clusters. Students perennially remain confused. What is the difference between an ECE and EM degree and EI1? Nobody is there to educate them about the differentiation between them. So what we proposed is like if we can have an information booklet combining the information about all the branches of engineering, what are the careers after that, what are the various possible financial sources, and if these booklets can be circulated in addition to the UPC official brochures across the nook and corner of the state for free to the students, through their faculty members, through their schools. Colleges do circulate a large number of flyers, brochures to these students. But we can prepare a very targeted, focused information booklet And these booklets should certainly have, in a subtle way, the promotions of the participating colleges on the back and the inside back cover pages. So that will give the college an edge over there. The colleges have their admission cells to coordinate all their marketing campaigns. So collectively, all across the state, the university has published 2.5 lakh information brochures. So similarly, we can have at least 5 lakh to 10 lakh booklets. They can be distributed across the state. They will create a kind of an impact where every student will be empowered with a lot of authentic information where he can understand about engineering, its various nuances, and then he can return back with further queries for it. Similarly, we are planning on, VC sir had a vision like we can have a film. This is very common in the US, where all the universities, they produce their promotional films. They teach about a lot of things. In addition to talking about their own infrastructure, their governance structures, their placements and all, they also do educate about the profession per se. So we are planning to produce a film like why to become an engineer. And today we are getting it shoot done. We are starting it and we will be releasing it by the end of this week. The work has been going on for quite some time. So these DVDs can also be circulated across amongst the maths and science faculty members of the senior secondary schools across the state. Now, the faculty members of the senior secondary school are equally ignorant about the interface. The way colleges know a little about the industry, similarly, this interface from a school to a college is quite, I will say, there is a huge gap in that itself. So, next. The other thing is like scholarships. If the individual scholarships, the colleges can come together and say that in their management quota, we can offer X% of the seats to the needy and the worthy students at a reduction process. We are also trying to get support from other corporate foundations which want students to take up studies, to give grants and all. So in a collective fashion, a scholarship can be produced where students, needy students can come and afford the fee which is there, and their aspiration, for many reasons, students really are not able to come forward for that. So we have a lot of schemes for the SC students, ST students, but the biggest hit is the middle class and the lower middle class segment, which is the most aspiring class for engineering and management students, but there are no organized schemes. Earlier there used to be mandals and societal associations having that, but if together with, if the colleges can come together to offer, with bigger chunks can also be attracted from corporate foundations for that. This has been a program which we have been doing since January 5th. We had our first School Connect program in Lucknow, where Professor Krupa Shankar was the chief guest and other eminent dignitaries came. And it was during our School Connect program at Mathura. Professor Tak had come to grace that occasion. The idea was how to interface the school faculty members of maths and science with the colleges. If the school faculty members are taken on board, they are the ones who will in turn motivate and educate their students. They will quash their large number of queries, what they emerge, the various small queries which students have. So keeping that in mind, we are creating a counselors network across, giving them basic understanding about the nuances of this entire engineering education. So this is one of the other programs which will help in really reaching out to the hinterland and to educate them about the various aspects. Next. So these were some of our School Connect programs, and the two ones are scheduled at Kanpur and Banda next month, and we are trying to canvass the entire state with this energy. Next. UPTU Watch helpline had been a major hit last year. We just gave a small press release in one of the newspapers. It appeared in Amar Ujala, and we started getting 1,000 calls a day, which we could not handle. We have our all teams from the UPTU system itself, and students were having such basic to very advanced level of queries where there was no framework to actually help them out. And these counseling sessions, this helpline actually helped them to take a very informed decision. So our idea is to use certain technologies where we link up the entire counselor network across the state, whereby people call on this helpline and they get like what are the dates, are they being rescheduled, because UPTC brochure is quite a tough, I will say, tough task to decipher what all information is there. So there need to be an educational campaign to actually quash the various queries of the students at large. So next. Now the biggest challenge is to reach out to this vast network. We have around 8,685 UP board senior secondary schools, 994 CBSE senior secondary schools, and 254 ICSE board affiliated schools. In order to reach out to them, because the entire students are lying over there, and if we can somehow reach out, we have the case studies of Lucknow and Mathura, and in just 1 week each, we could reach out to every school, meet their principals, meet their faculty members. We have with us Dr. S.P. Goswami, who is a very senior educationist from the UP Madhyamik Shiksha Board. So, if together with if colleges can also converge their energies and help in reaching out to these schools and reverberate them with an educational campaign, probably we think the 6 to 7 lakh student of the science stream who appears in UP board alone, a large number of them will be inspired and motivated to opt for these professional technical courses. In fact, the quality of students, we have something objectively we did last April. We made a dipstick study, and under that we found that the engineering talent pool of Uttar Pradesh was found to be significantly better than the national average. Now the innate quality of the students is phenomenal. The only thing is they are not getting the right information, the right platforms to quash their queries and the confidence to move forward. Next. If we see the snapshot of the spread of colleges across UP, there are 34 districts in UP where there are no engineering colleges. And the total number of colleges is around 302. There are 28 districts where there is no management college. And the total number of management colleges is increased to 407. And 24 districts in this state are completely devoid of higher techno-managerial educational institutions. In Purvanchal there are 10, in Rohilkhand 2. This is a snapshot. Next. Now how to devise a joint campaign whereby the 10,000 senior secondary schools associated with the various boards, the 2,000 degree colleges, they can be reached out, an information campaign can be reached out to these people, the students over there, and we can achieve what we have intended to increase the gross enrollment ratio in the coming admission session. Next. So I would request Professor Karp to initiate discussions and speak out his mind, how we can take it forward. And